Hey, we're Camillo and Anouk and we converted Dakar, our 4x4 Mitsubishi Pajero, into a camper. We've been traveling along the Balkans for the last few months and started our journey in late August from Germany. Now we're entering our next Balkan country, wild Albania, a country we've really been looking forward to, known as an outdoor adventure country, as the off-road paradise of Europe and promising wild and untamed nature.
All of that is true, but this country has many faces, and the one that catches our eye first isn't the nicest. We didn't know it at first, but Albania is the poorest country in Europe, and this lack of financial power can be felt on many levels. We enter Albania from North Macedonia, so we're not at the comparably wealthy coast, but somewhere in the outbacks of Albania. Time seems to have its own pace here. People living a very modest and simple life. Most of them work in the fields and take care of their animals.
This country has its very own exceptional history. Albania was under communist dictatorship until 1990, and until the collapse, it was completely shut off from the rest of the world. After it opened up, it never really caught up with the surrounding countries. The power vacuum that was left behind after the dictatorship was filled with chaos and corruption, resulting in crime and the rise of an Albanian mafia. Albania has the highest percentage of the population living under the extreme poverty line in Europe. This poverty and lack of opportunity fuels the urge of many to flee Albania. 2/3 of the population permanently lives outside of Albania. Young people with any kind of education try to leave the country behind to find their fortune somewhere else.
All of this has led to a weak economy, an extremely high unemployment rate, and so-called brain drain, meaning that the educated and highly qualified leave their country in search for a better life and higher pay in more developed countries. This brain drain makes it even more difficult for a country to regain financial power and find stability. There's comparably little tourism in Albania, even though it has 172 kilometers of coastline. Tourism is usually a big chance for a country to regain strength, but through bad media representation it loses this chance.
But Albania is extremely unique in one way, solely because it has been shut away so well for so many years while the surrounding world developed on fast forward. It has something you won't find in many other European countries anymore. There's untouched nature, wild and raw nature. Perfect for hiking, all kind of sports and simply relaxing. It's usually a little difficult to find camp spots in nature without standing in someone's backyard, but in Albania it's absolutely possible. Wild camping is even legal. We felt very free while traveling in Albania.
This is the beautiful Fir of Hotova Nationalpark. After spending the first days driving through endless forests, small villages and over bumpy roads, we decide to stay at this beautiful lake for a few days. We have it all to ourselves and don't see anyone else for 3 days. Well, yes, the lake is a bit far away, so it needs some motivation to clean the dishes with lake water.
There are quite many little vegetable stands next to the street where farmers sell their goods. Traveling during the harvest season was absolutely the right decision in this aspect. We paid €4 for this entire bag. Food prices are extremely low here, but also restaurant prices are very affordable. Good for us who come with euros, but the weak Albanian lek doesn't make it easier for the people living here. Strangely enough, fuel is extremely expensive. In the beginning we didn't believe it was possible, but for a litre of diesel you pay €2.10 in October 2022. All the surrounding countries have fuel prices of around €1.60 a litre. With the average wage being around 400 euros a month, fuel becomes a luxury good. We wondered why so many people drive a carriage, ride a bike, or walk huge distances through the middle of nowhere. Well, here you have the cruel explanation. Oh no, eine Sitzblockade im Schatten.
Was macht denn der Schäfer?
Ich weiß es nicht. Und die kloppen sich auf einem Bunker.
Again we find huge abandoned complexes, like the Fir power plant. Albania has many hot sulfur springs. Most of them are well visited by locals and campervan people, so we decide to go to a more unknown and hidden spring. So we find our way through cow meadows, dried up riverbeds and little streams. This looks so carefree, but please keep in mind, first check the river by foot, if its depth isn't apparent. Sie würde vor allem in Deutschland fahren.
Klar.
We find this beautiful natural spring after a long ride through nature. It's a rainy and fresh autumn day and we're looking forward to this hot spring. Well, we soon realized that the term hot is exaggerated. It was about the temperature of the surrounding air. Nevertheless, we decided to hop in for a few minutes and try to make it look comfy, but it definitely wasn't. These natural springs can be found all over Albania. They are known by locals for thousands of years, and the sulfur in the water is said to help with rheumatism, neurodermatitis, and many more maladies. The Romans often built their roads and cities near these springs, so there are quite a few that are much more accessible than this one.
We spent quite a few days just standing somewhere in the forest near a lake, enjoying nature.
Sadly, Albania can't only be described as natural beauty. Albania seems to drown in trash. We pass through many Balkan countries which don't have a proper garbage system. Bins aren't properly picked up, there are hardly any waste dumps, and a lot of trash ends up in forests and rivers. Albania even buys off trash from other countries to earn some extra money. This only adds up to an already gigantic problem with their own waste. It's a vicious circle.
We then slowly head towards the coast. After 5 weeks inland, we are really looking forward to the ocean, beaches, crystal clear water and warmer coastal weather. And as soon as we reach the Mediterranean, summer seems to return for a few fleeting weeks.
In mid-October, even the coastal area is swiped empty. We have dream beaches all to ourselves. Places that must be totally crowded during peak season are now deserted. We spent many days hopping from beach to beach, enjoying slow morning breakfasts, reading, writing, and exploring nature above and underwater. It feels incredibly nice to live our own rhythm. It sometimes feels as if we never before had the time to really feel our own rhythm. Spending an afternoon making wrapped dough ourselves, rolling them out and baking them in the pan. It takes time, patience, and feels much more complicated than simply whipping open a ready pack. But who cares? Today, tomorrow, and time in general began to regain its own character. We slowly make our way towards Greece, but not before crossing this river in Albania. Instead of building a bridge, they decided to build this raft that transports cars from one side to the other. Dangerously stitched together, we let ourselves and our home on four wheels be pulled over to the other side by the raft.
Albania was a constant up and down in emotions. It shocked us in a cruel and hopeless way. It opened our eyes like no other country in the Balkans did, and at the same time it warmed us with these wild and sunny beaches, with friendly people and a beautiful feeling of absolute freedom. To be honest, Albania is our favorite country in the Balkans and definitely worth a visit. Not only the coastal area but also the inland. We hope we could wake some interest. And then we enter Greece and our travel plans change drastically, but more on that next time. See you soon.